facile la review. You look at the chat, you couldn't take on us.
Good evening, guys, and I hope everyone is doing fine tonight. So, I want to welcome you all to this particular session where we have our first pre-market analysis, basically before the market opens. So, I just want you guys to know that tonight is going to be very interesting. And we'll be talking about everything that can possibly happen during this week. And then on the chart, pretty much you need to understand that everything shared here is not a financial advice. It is just my own point of view of the financial market. Okay. So if you had to take any risk based on it, it is at your own discretion. All right. So I don't want anybody coming down to tell me they lost a certain amount of money because I said this, I said that. Okay. So going further, I won't want to waste too much time. It's late already in the night. So all I just want to just go ahead to do right now is share the chart with you guys. So basically we have the my interest tonight is going to be on BTC USD. And then there's someone who's going to be joining me tonight, a very, very good trader. And then, my very good friend as well. And then, you know, you guys would be able to learn a thing or two during that session. But for now, let's just focus on why we are here. So we need to understand that recently we had a level of push in the market that made the whole world shake as regards BTC USD. So we've seen how significantly how BTC USD dumped on Friday night, and then we've seen how everyone around the world reacted to it. A lot of people saying they lost their money, and so on and so forth. Now, I will be telling you my next move on BTC, what I want to do on BTC, and before I'll be able to do that, I need to just tell you how I'm going to make that decision. Okay. Now, first thing first is we want to know that BTC on as a asset in a sense, yeah, or as a crypto asset in a sense, has literally been on the rise to the upside for months now. So we need to understand that. I have looked at it from the monthly time frame, and all I can see is just a candle. Now, because this candle now is showing me that before we can close this particular candle reading, we need 19 days and 3 hours. Now, what this significantly means to me is what this significantly means to me is we've seen a very, very nice sweep to the downside, which is what pulled down, and then we've seen a significant reversal back of the candle. Now, it is possible that this candle could still maintain very, very strong bullish momentum, but we need to pay attention to what, in a sense, has happened in the past. So, over the years, we've seen BTC all the way from 2020 pushed up to the upside most of the times. Now, we've seen how significantly it has pushed up and all of things like that. Now, how do we now use this particular data, which is the past data, to now determine what the future data will be? Okay. Now, you might not be familiar with what support levels and resistance levels are, but any point in the market where you see a sharp turn, either to the downside, signifies a resistance level. So this kind of point here, where we see this particular reversal, showed that what at that point there was a level, there was something we the market actually experienced, which is what led to a resistance. Now, with that, significantly, one can tell that that point we could now see that whenever in the future, because the information we do basically when it comes to this chart and this line of business is we use past data to determine future data. That's what technical analysis means. So if I say that this is a resistance point, and then we can now see significantly that we've seen certain candles, you know, trade slightly above it or still maintain that particular high, which is this particular high here now, this particular resistance zone, which I've marked out now. You can easily see that all these monthly candles from July, August, and September have, like, they've maintained that particular position, which is they are always closing, still remaining on that candle. Now, in a sense, I could say that yes, price has broken out of this, and price have given us a retest. In a sense, let's pay attention to this. Now, in a sense, I could say price has broken out of this and potentially given us a retest, and that retest is what any trader would need. Do you understand? To understand that you need a retest before a certain level of move to literally happen in the market. So if we can now say that yes, this retest is confirmed, then you can see it on the line chart here. Now, so we have price doing what? Just creating that particular solid retest. Now, we had that retest clearly on this line chart, and that gives me the next in like the next line of action. I just need to see before I now make my decision to either buy or sell. I just need to see the daily time frame. I just need to find a particular daily candle close to the upside, which is currently happening today. Now you can see that after the whole put day before yesterday and as of yesterday, we can now see that the current candle, which is on the daily time frame now, is reading bullish. Now, that alone will tell me that if today can close bullish, then we are in for the long run. Why? Because we've maintained this level. Now, if you look at it, this particular level here was the previous month's level that we marked out on the monthly time frame. Okay. Now we are now on the daily time frame. Now we've gotten this retest 3 times. Okay, 1, 2. So now we are expecting that what we should have this particular third retest, which is what has happened here. And then in a sense, we've seen that liquidity has been grabbed. And what moves the market? Liquidity. For anything to literally move to the upside or to the downside, it needs a particular amount of money to be swept out of the market. Then it will now be able to use that particular money to push to the upside or to the downside wherever it wants to go to. Now, we've seen that liquidity has been grabbed already. The liquidity we need has been grabbed already. So we just need to just wait for a certain level of confirmation, which in a sense for me would significantly mean a bullish engulfing after such a spike to the downside. Now, on the daily time frame. Now, in the next 2 hours, this particular candle will close. If this candle close in the next 2 hours, we'll be able to see what would literally happen. Now, after that, now you have to understand that anything could still happen. Price could still push the downside. That's fine, but you always have to know that there is something that won't always be ignored, which is what the technicals. It doesn't mean you can't fail. It doesn't mean you can't it's stop loss, or it doesn't mean you can't lose your money at a certain point in time on this trade. It just means that if you can get a very good entry, you could potentially risk less. Now, where would have been that very, very good potential entry for us it would have been right around this point, okay? Using the other blocks and using certain levels of knowledge, yeah? And then, that would have given us the perfect entry. Pretty much a very nice one. Because we know that the value of BTC is not undermined, despite the fact that Trump said whatever it is he said. The value of BTC still remains its value. If the value of something is overhyped, it is still overhyped. It has never, in a sense, there has never been a whole world, the whole world, saying BTC is bad. Nobody has said that they potentially, because of BTC, the BTC went back to zero or something happened. We've seen how it has moved over the month. It is more than gold. It is beating gold by far. It is beating every other asset you can think of by far. To purchase one, as of now, you need $114,000. That's crazy. Does it make sense? So seeing it fall all the way down to 104, people who are literally the world leaders and who have these assets with them, they won't just allow you to just allow the assets to just keep going down because Trump said this. Do you understand? So in a sense, whatever comes down, that's why the language came in. Buy the dip, buy the dip, buy the dip. If it comes down, especially in an asset like BTC, you always want to find the position to do what? To buy. So if by adventure we get this particular bullish candle and we close bullish today, then I'll be looking for a very, very good opportunity on the lower time frame, like the 4 hours. Okay. So I won't just enter immediately after the bullish candle close. I won't enter. I want to get the tiniest bit of entry that I could get that could give me a very, very minimal risk. Okay, so that I won't be risking too much, but I'll just be risking less to be able to make more. So if you're here and you are looking at this as an opportunity to position trade, remember you're not leveraging trading. Now, what's the difference between leverage trading and positioning trading? Now, you are leveraging means that you are just going to buy BTC. You just go and buy BTC on Trust Wallet, or you buy BTC on Bybit, or you buy BTC on this. Now, when you're position trading, it means you're comparing BTC to the United States dollar. And in that sense, you're not just buying, you are having a particular lot size that is being allocated to that trade. And in that sense, too, you have a stop loss in place. If you don't have a stop loss in place, then definitely you're doing yourself an harm. That's what leverage trading is. When you buy BTC, you don't have stop loss in place. Does it make sense? So if you buy BTC at 105 and you lose 300 pips of BTC, or BTC go against you 300 pips, definitely you just load your account on your Trust Wallet or on Bybit or all of things like that. But if you are position trading, that means you're trading based on position and how you would see how you could have used this particular information to just make money for yourself. So um, we've seen that, and then I honestly still believe that if this particular level, which in a sense we've seen that this support level has been maintained, so same knowledge, same team, same multiple times. We don't have to waste our time too much. We know it will still keep pushing. And in a sense, we could see it trading as far as the 1,000, probably 140,000 or 150,000, or as far as that. It is literally possible. These are marks that price could easily get to. And honestly, if I'm to just, use my fib retracement, I'm expecting price. I won't want to share that information as well on this live. I'm expecting price to get to at least 140,000 before any interesting pullback again. Now, this information, like I said, is not a financial advice. It is just my own based on my own analysis. I am able to make this particular decision. So if this works out, fine, no problem. Anybody that makes money makes money. But if this don't, you have to understand that there is a potential for you to lose your money. But I said again that don't leverage trade. Don't go and buy BTC on Bybit or on what's it called, or on Trust Wallet. No, you are just putting yourself at a risk because you don't have stop loss in place and you don't have anything in place. But if you are trading, if you're trading regularly, that means you're just going in and coming out along the line, you will definitely be able to put your stop loss where it's meant to be and also be able to, just do what you have to do. So that's for BTC right there. And then I'm just going to go to the next pair, which is GBP USD and Euro USD. A very beautiful downtrend on BTC US, Euro USD and GBP USD so much. We've seen how GBP USD and Euro USD have literally created some lower highs and lower lows towards the downside. And of course, we could still see that in a sense it is still maintaining this level of resistance. Now, price have been trying to close above this resistance level on the monthly time frame, but it has always just dropped back into that particular zone. So now we are currently trading below the monthly high, and that's 1 month ago, which was like September. And then that way we could potentially see possibly price trading down to 1.21626. That is the possibility there. That's if this downtrend is maintained. Okay, but in a sense, yeah, we also need to put into consideration something called the United States dollar, which is the DXY. So if we can see the DXY, which is the dollar itself, gaining strength, we can potentially then just maintain our bearish move for GBP USD and Euro USD. So if in a sense we can get that particular push to the upside based on in as much as we've seen it over time push to the downside, it has started creating higher highs and higher lows, and we cannot ignore that on the daily time frame. It has been creating higher highs and higher lows. So we need to know that there's a tendency that price has, in a sense, changed its course. So, and then with that, now we can see that if you are looking for anything at all in Euro USD during this week, potentially I would want to go for a sell. But for tomorrow, which is Monday, now we need to see price probably maintain the daily high. If that particular daily high is being maintained, which is this particular candle here, now I think the market is opened already, so we can see the daily high here. This particular candle, that's for Friday, and then this here is the low of that candle. From this now, we can potentially see that the daily high in a sense is maintained, and that way we could literally just watch out for what and what could literally happen potentially along the line. So you just have to just look for your entry time frame, which could be on the 15 minutes, and then expect some move towards the downside more. That's just what I'm expecting on GBP USD as well. So I still feel, in a sense, we see overall in a downtrend. If we have our trend line drawn out, we could potentially see that we are still maintaining that downtrend. Oh, sorry. So from this now, this trend line had a breakout. So potentially for me to sell GBP USD, I need to see it coming around, trading below this particular trend line. And then, of course, also I need to see trading below the equilibrium as well. Okay, so perfect analysis here. You could see that we need to just see trading below this particular point here before we can consider a buy. A sell, I mean, not a buy now. We need to see it trading below the 1.15919 region before we consider a sell. And that's because we can see that overall on the daily time frame, we are literally on a downtrend. So that's for Euro USD. And then let's go for GBP USD. Okay, good stuff. So for GBP USD, like I said, we are trading below the monthly high. So then for the daily aspect, we need to see price maintain this level of high here, and then this level of low here. And then if we see a break below it, then we can still look for a short, because I'm still interested in sales on GBP USD. But we need to get the perfect entry for that. Okay, so if we look at it in a sense, we've seen it possibly form a sense of a head and shoulder pattern. And then if you can see it carefully all the way from this point, we've seen this place as the shoulder, then we could see this place as the head here, then price sold all the way to this point, and then we could see this place as the right shoulder, and then there's every tendency that we could see price just pushing to the downside. So this is just a possibility And then, in a sense, if this can happen, then good stuff. So, all this year are still trading slightly around the left shoulder region. So, um, that's just that. So, if we can see price again on GBP USD also trade below the previous day equilibrium, then we are good to go for a very good sell. Okay. Now we can see that the market is open and automatically it is selling off already. That shows a lot of. So this year is still maintaining the trend line peacefully, carefully, still maintaining the trend line. We've seen how price trade above it and below it. So during the day, during New York session or during London session, as early as 7 tomorrow morning, which is on Monday morning, we need to see price trade around the equilibrium, okay, below the equilibrium. And then if price can successfully trade below the equilibrium, we can easily look for a sell position right there. So without any further ado, I hope you all have been following this live. So we've seen 9 people so far as the highest what's it called? As the highest amount of people that have joined this live. Good stuff. So now for GBP USD, I'm just expecting the sell, a very good sell, a very very good sell, and that's because, of course, like I said again, we've seen the dollar index, which is the DXY, show certain level of strength to the upside and all of things like that. So, but we need to just see certain level of confirmation before we before we before we sell. Okay. So, if there's any question for me, please let me know. Okay, good. All right, so Mata is in already. Thank you very much, Mata, for joining this live. Yeah, so I'll pass on the screen up to her, so she will just go ahead and show us what she's looking out for on the markets today. All right.
Hi Dee, good evening. Yeah, thanks for having me. Yeah, hi everyone. Good evening. So,
Yes.
I'm just going to share my screen, and we won't take much time. Yeah, we're just going to look at we would please. Can you hear me? I'm Dee. Am I
Yes.
audible?
Yes. Yes, you are. Yes, you are. Yes, you are.
Okay. So I'm just going to share my screen now, and we'll focus on gold and see what gold has for us. Yeah, so I'm currently sharing my screen. Yeah, so D, can you see my screen? Okay, yeah, I think my screen is
Yes, I can
visible.
see it now. I can see it now.
Okay, so I think gold has been bullish for like the longest now, and we've all just been buying gold and buying gold and buying gold. And then last week we saw like the pullback, the sales on gold, yeah. And honestly, in as much as I still want to buy gold, I think I might want to sell gold for some time. Yeah, though not for long. Yeah, but I would want to sell gold for some time because it just has to pull back, yeah. But before I hold that sell for a long, I won't even hold it for a very long time. I think I'm just going to be taking some short trades, short sells on gold. Yeah, because I mean our monthly is still like it's been bullish without no pullback on our monthly. And if we check our daily and weekly, we have similar things on it too. Yeah, so we have our daily. I think I'm just going to start from the daily time frame. Yeah, so we have the daily year, which is like it's been buying without any pullback on the daily. The major break of structure we had was this, and after that, we've not had any pullback yet on the daily time frame. Yeah, but hopefully we get something, we get a drop, which I don't see it coming though. Yeah, but before I sell gold, what do I want to see? Yeah, so I'm just going to pick my fibs now, and we see currently gold is currently at the 50%. Yeah, it's like it has gone like 50% deep. We have this year at this point here, and I'm wondering, is this a good point to start buying gold back? We have this level here. Or do we still want, does gold still want to like drop back into like the 78% before pushing back up? We really can't tell, but we can follow what market is doing here. And what would I want to do in this case? I think I'm just going to bring this back so I could mark out my 78%. So we have this. Could we see a sell down to this point? Possibly. Yeah, it's very possible we could see price drop to this point before pushing back up. I mean, gold broke like 4,000, like that was like last week, I think. Yeah, it was last week it happened. Yeah, and then we might see a dip to probably this point around 3,890 ish before going up. Yeah, but before I sell, why would I want to sell? What would I look out for before I sell gold? Let's see what our one as for us. Okay, I think 1 hour is clear. We can see this is like the 30% that we have here. Sorry, the 50% dip we have here. And we can see we have double highs, which price cleared this, giving us like, I think I'll call this I'll take this as my break of structure. Sorry, a change of character, yeah. Price like change broke this low, and normally I would want to see a sell, but I mean we are trading gold, so God can decide to do his thing, yeah. But we'll come down to our 30 minutes, which is like where I'll pay much attention. So I'll pay much attention to my 30 minutes, 5 minutes, and 1 minute, yeah. Because these are like the time zones, every day, yeah. The time frames I'm going to be looking for my entries from. So we have this point. Price is like at one level here. We have this one level here. I'll call this my breaker block, and we have this here. So let's not forget this eye here. Yeah, because we'll come back to this eye. This eye is like all-time high important here. So these are like two places I would want to sell from. Yeah, I would be looking out for a sell from this level here and this level here. So if this level fails, then I'll be looking for a sell here. If this level fails, I'll actually buy to this level here, and then I'll look for a sell from this level. But if price breaks all time high again, then I think I'm done selling gold till further notice. Yeah, I would be looking for a buy. But right now, I think I want to sell from here. I would want a confirmation to sell gold from this level here. I would want to sell it down back to this point, and probably if we should come back to our, let's say, I think I have that. Yeah, this is like my 78%. Yeah, so if I should, let me just put this on all time frames. Yeah, so um I would want to like sell to this level first, and from this level I want to sell to this level. Then I think I would be done selling for now until I see what market is going to do. Yeah, so these are like two things for me: sell from here if I get my confirmation to sell from here. If I don't get a confirmation, if I get a break upward instead, then I'll look for an opportunity to continue buying all the way to this point. Then when price gets to this our supply here, I would want to buy from this supply at this point. Yeah, so you see that we have a sell from here, we have a supply turn demand here, and a demand turn supply here, and then we have a new supply zone at this point. Price drops down on, we have a sell from this supply, the major supply zone, and then we might see a sell. But if the supply is broken, then trust me, we just want to keep on buying. Yeah, so I'll come down to my 5 minutes and my 1 minute, which is like my my golden will I call it my golden time frame for my entries. So I wouldn't want these guys here to come and disturb me on my lower time frame. So I'm just going to put this on only this time frame, and yeah, I think I'll leave this. Let me just leave that there. Yeah, so we can see on our 5 minutes, it's a sweet uptrend. Like it's breaking highs, respecting lows. We have price tapping into the demand zones and going up. If we should measure this, let's see. Let's get our fibs and see what we have here. This should be like the 60. No, price tapped into this zone. 78%, which is like they tap into the 78%, pushed up, broke structure, came back again to the demand zone, and it's at this level now. We have two highs here. So if this high, if price breaks this high, if we get a break of structure here, yeah, I think what I'll be looking for, I'm looking for a break of structure right now. If price should break structure, then I want to buy. So where would I buy from if I get a break of structure? I would want to buy somewhere around there. I'll wait for price to come here. But I would most likely not buy here until I get the full break of structure, and then I could pick up my fibs and measure, and I would buy from 78% because gold would usually respect the 78%. Yeah. So I would buy from the 78% or my major demand zone here. That is where I would want to buy from. Yeah. So if we get a break of structure, then I'm bullish on gold. So I would be buying gold once I get the pullback to my 78%, measuring from this our low here, this our demand zone to the point where gold starts to pull back down. I would be measuring from there, and I would buy all the way up to okay, I don't have that yet. I'll be buying all the way to my all-time high. Yeah, and then for my all-time high, I want to see what market has for me. I think I could see my all-time high from here. Yeah, okay, yeah, this is the all-time high. I'll buy all the way to this point, and then I want to probably sell from there if I get a confirmation to sell. Yeah, but at the same time, another, let's just go to our 1 minute and see what 1 minute is saying. Yeah, so if I want to sell now, yeah, because I would not just jump on a sell from this point. Yeah, I can't really see any confirmation. In as much as I have this high here, I have this iron price is like failing to break it. It has not broken it yet. Yeah, I'm not just going to jump in on any buy or sell here until when I get my confirmation. So I've shared where I would want to buy from. Now, if I'm to sell, what would make me go in on a sell on gold? If I come down to my 1 minute, I would see we had it's a sweet uptrend also. We have break of structures, and we have this. So where would I sell from? Yeah, would what I want to sell from here. Let me just take this off so I could see things clearly. Let's see. Yeah, current interval only. So we have these two major highs here that we have this here, and where would I want to sell from here? I want to sell from somewhere around here. So I would also, as usual, want to see a change of character at this point, because as we can see, we have a demand turn, a supply turn demand here. We have a supply zone here that turns to our demand zone. Yeah, so I would want price to break this level. If this level is broken, I would take that to be my change of character and the confirmation to go in on a sell and continue selling. Yeah, but it's not a financial advice. It's just what I do in the market. So if you want to go along with me and we make the most money together, we just follow this here. So if I should get a change of character, yeah, at this point here. So if this low is taken out, then I'm going all in on a sell on gold. Yeah, so I would want to sell gold from this point. Yeah, so to sell, we want to see something like this, a drop down, and probably find a zone around here. Yeah, as usual, I would measure my fibs here because, like I said, I'll tell you a secret that I've been using for a good time now, which is more like it's been working. I'm using the 78% fibs on gold, like the 1 minute is golden, trust me. Yeah, you could backtest it. Use the 78%. Price would always respect it most times, yeah. So I want to see a change of character, and I would measure my fibs from the most I don't know what market is going to do, because trust me, I'm not I can't tell the candlestick market is going to print the next minute, yeah. But I would just probably measure it from here, the closest eye. Yeah, I would measure to the closest nearest low before the pullback and all that, and find my 78% and wait for market to get there, and I'm going to sell from there. Yeah. So these are like two things that I'm looking at on gold, buy and sell. Yeah, but overall, let's not forget higher time frame for me is still key. Like it's number one for me. And in as much as I'm doing stuff on the 1 minute, 5 minutes, I do things based on what my higher time frame is telling me. So if my higher time frame is telling me to buy, I also want to buy with my, I want to find opportunities to buy on my lower time frame. And if my higher time frame is telling me to sell, I want to find opportunities to sell. Yeah. So right now I'm seeing an opportunity to I was seeing an opportunity to sell, yeah, but before I sell, cause it's gold we're trading and gold has been bullish. Yeah, so before I sell, these are like the things I want to see in the market before I would be going in on a sell. Yeah. So if I do not get this change of character, yeah, on the 1 minute, then I'm not gonna sell. So if I get the change of character, I would just sell to this. I mean, we have different points to put our TPs in. Yeah, and I think I said it where would most likely the sell is going to get to. I would sell first to the 50%, sell back to the 50%, which I think is this, and then from the 50%, and yeah, most likely we'll be getting a buy from there. So sell back to this level, sell back here, and see what happens. Most likely price is going to come in here and before it starts to push back up. Yeah. So we sell here, and we continue buying. But if we do not get that break, if we get the break above on the 5 minutes, we come back to our 5 minutes now. If we get the break above here, if this is where the break is coming from, if it breaks up, let's see if market should break up. We just want to see a retest kind of, then we are going to buy back. Yeah, so basically this is what I'm seeing on gold. Nothing complex. Still the usual forex trading stuff we're all familiar with. And I hope we got something from this session. Yeah, like I said, I'm not going to take much of our time. I just want to show you my view on gold. Yeah, so if you have any question, you could drop it. I'm here, D is here. We would attend to your questions here. So D, over to you. I am done with my analysis on gold.
All right. Good stuff, good stuff. And I want to be sure everyone, like, literally had everything she has explained. Now, you would see that just like you've explained, that's all I'm looking out for. I'm looking out for a sale pretty much because currently, price is currently trading around, the origin that caused the particular change of character or the break of structure, which I cannot even tell because it is good, it is good. So, so good stuff, good stuff. Please, if you have any question at all, any question, please just go ahead and share in the comments. Um, if you have any question. Okay, so Amos, do you have a question? Do you have a question? Um, David, I saw you. Okay, you guys are learning. Yes, good stuff, good stuff, good stuff. So please, if you have a question, let us know, and then we can see how we can just quickly answer that, and then or if you have a pair that you think you want us to look out for, you can just comment in the section box, and then let us know, guys, let us know. Pum, 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 pum. So if you trade US 30, I feel US 30 is currently at a point where we could see it pushing back to the upside. Now we've seen that the liquidity of the trend line has been swept in a sense, yeah. And then of course a lot of origins that led to sudden push and all are being currently just put in place and all of things like that. But we need to just pay attention to which of these origins can potentially reverse price. Now, and then for me, I want to play it safe and I want to wait for price around the 45,000 region. Okay. Now, why am I waiting for price around this region? Is because I want to see a particular 100% move on the fib retracement. Now, which means that I'm potentially looking out from this point down all up to this point, yeah, and I'm expecting price to just give us that 100% push to the downside. So if it gives us that 100% push into the 45,000 region, I'm looking out for a buy on US 30. Okay, so yes, Amos, I think Amos said Euro USD. So yes, good stuff. So let's really go back to Euro USD again and look out for what we are expecting on Euro USD. Euro USD again, I said, is potentially in a downtrend, and significantly we could see that along the line currently where price is trading at is particularly an origin that caused a overall like a particular change of character that we've seen, or yes, of course, a change of character because previously price already changed character as at this point here. Now we could see how price changed character at this point, and then price tapped into the origin, and then all of a sudden that origin failed, and then all of a sudden we have a very new change of character at this point. So that way now I can potentially say that I'm expecting price to just sell off, but before I take my sell, I said again that I want to see price tap below the equilibrium during tomorrow's session. So if I can see price tap into the probably below the equilibrium or below the trend line, then I'm looking for a very good sell. I always like play it safe, and then you should also consider that. So that's for Euro USD. Okay, USD JPY, good stuff. So for USD JPY, potentially we could see more push to the upside in a sense. Now, why am I saying more push to the upside on USD JPY? We still have a gap that needs to be filled. Now that's a very interesting one. Okay, we still have a gap that needs to be filled on USD JPY. Now last week when market opened, we had markets give this gap. Now this year is a significant one. There is every reason why price might want to still come back to actually do what, to actually fill that gap. But potentially, depending on how the market decides to move during the New York session later tomorrow, and then you need to know that if this high potentially, which is this particular resistance level, if this particular resistance level is literally maintained, if price don't trade below it, then you can potentially look for more buying opportunity. But if price potentially comes below it, then definitely you know that you want to sell off, and then you want to see price fill in the gap. Okay, now you want to see price fill in the gap. Now once price fill in the gap, then definitely you want to pay attention to the origin of that push to the upside again. Okay, then you can potentially take a buy from that region. Now the origin could be, in a sense, from this particular region here, below the gap. Once the gap gets filled, you could have a pending order below it, and then that way you could potentially see price trading around that region along the line. Now you need to just know that this is a waiting game. You don't want to rush it. If you rush it, then definitely you know what that story ends, or you know where that ends. You lose your money. So you want to stay calm, make informed decision, educated ones. That's the difference between trading and gambling. You want to make informed decisions. You don't want to guess. You want to be accurate with certain things that you do. And then, even in as much as you can't be 100% accurate, you want to know that whenever you execute that position, you have a particular reason, a conviction to which you are actually executing that trade. Okay, so if you are not literally, if you don't have that conviction, if you don't have that particular strategy in place, if you don't have the perfect timing to take your entry, just know that you are up to lose your money. Okay, so you want to be able to have the strategy in place, and then I want you to know that I wish you well. So USDJPY, we've seen what was possible. We need to just see that gap right there. We need to see the gap filled, and if the gap is filled, then we could look for a buy opportunity. So for you, if you how can you now make a decision of this? You could easily just trade price. Once price go below the high I said, which is the 150.931. You want to see price trade below that region and then give you some sort of retest, and that way you can take in some very, very nice sales. Okay, you can take in some very, very nice sales. Now, if this can ever happen, you can do this. Okay, but if this don't happen, then you want to know that you still want to maintain. If price keep trading, then you just want to know that price could potentially just keep pushing to the upside like this. Okay, so any other, do I relate my analysis with smart money concept? Very good question. Interesting thing is every strategy is the same thing. Every strategy, every smart money concept, every trend line, every support and resistance, every supply and demand. That's just the secret nobody will tell you. Okay, it is the same thing. It is just the same thing. All of us are still doing the same thing. We are either buying or we are either selling. So you just need to just know that. Don't confuse yourself with the English. But overall, what is key is chart patterns. Okay, what the chart does, whatever the chart does is literally what will determine what you will do. So in a sense, yes, because you don't want to just buy from anywhere in the market. You want to buy from a support level, or you want to buy from or you want to sell from a resistance level. So if you are doing that, either your support is converted to a resistance or your resistance is converted to a support. In a sense, you're still using the smart money concept, which is just telling you that, oh, this is a break of structure, this is CHCH, then this automatically becomes a fair value gap, and this automatically becomes your origin for the sell, and boom, that's the strategy. But you need to also know that it is all still the same thing. Okay, there is literally no more difference. For every strategy we want to trade, or every pair we want to trade, should we consider the equilibrium strategy on the market structure? Yes, of course. Now, this is also something you need to know. You have to put in mind. You have to know that every day comes in with highs and lows. Now, at the beginning of your forex journey, you will know that they taught you that candlesticks literally come in what? They come like opening, closing, and then you have highest point the candlestick got to and the lowest point the candlestick got to. Okay. Now you need to know that there's always a balance within that candle. There is always a balance within that candle. So just like you yourself, what keeps you balanced? What keeps you in shape is literally because there is something in your waist that keeps you in shape, that don't make your body fall off from your legs. Okay, so that's something that also does hold the market, and you literally need to take it into consideration during every trade you take or every analysis you're making. Okay, I recommend the equilibrium. Literally, it is just like the flesh to the whole thing, and then the skeleton, the eyes, the nose, the mouth just comes in what your strategy tells you. But the main thing is understanding that there is a head and there is a leg, okay, which is the high and the low, and then there is a waist which keeps you intact, which is what? The equilibrium. So that's just how best I can explain that. So GBP USD, let's go back to GBP USD also. Same thing, like I said, I'm still expecting a sell on GBP USD. So for GBP USD, we've seen that over the last week, we've seen, you can imagine, market just opened automatically and we are seeing a sell. So I can tell you that it is trading already. It is currently trading what? It is currently trading at what? The trend line. Now we can also see that each market tapped into what? The particular origin, which is the candle that started a significant BOS, okay? Which you can of course see at this point here, which I would also call now a change of character, because in a sense, we've seen price literally change character at this point, because from here we've seen our price have pushed to the downside, creating BOS and CHOCH along the line. Now, then all of a sudden, we saw this particular push to the downside. Automatically, somebody will say this is particularly a origin. somebody who is using smart money concept, and then would say that this particular place is a fair value gap, okay? A very, very good opportunity for you to sell. Good stuff, right? So I'm saying a sell on what on GBP USD. But before me, I take that trade, I need to see trade below the equilibrium. Okay. I need to see trade below the equilibrium. So that's what I'm looking at for GBP USD. And then if I'm to take my profit would be around the 1.32621 region, okay? Because that there is the previous day low. So whatever I'm doing here, I need to just take my profits right around there. Also, that is an origin for this overall push to the upside. So I don't want to be caught up in those conversations where I am lost in what to do and what not to do. So I hope I've been able to answer you guys' question. Amos, have I been able to answer your question? Kingsley, do you now know what to do with GBP USD? David Okafor, do you now know how each analysis or each strategy relates to each other? Okay. If you are using smart money concept, it is the same idea with what? It is the same idea with. Can anybody tell me what smart money concept is? Is it the same idea with support and resistance, or it is the same idea with supply and demand? Do anybody even know the difference between supply and demand and support and resistance? Do you know the difference between those two things? Do anybody know the difference between supply and demand and support and resistance? Do anybody know? So if you know, you just go ahead and repeat it in the chat box. So we have 10 minutes on this call, and then we'll just call it a night from there. For gold, I hope we all remember what um, Ninja Forest Goddess already explained. So if you are a student of the DFX Academy, you would understand why she said she's expecting a sell. Okay, because I already taught you guys that this and this and this can lead to this and this and this. Okay, I won't release that information already, but she already shared it. So if you didn't grab it, you've missed out. But potentially there's a sell. There's a sell coming for gold, and that's something that if we don't see, we are not the market. You understand? We just analyze it. You understand? So if one go ahead and sell off, fine, and then you lose your money or you hit stop loss, fine. You can always come back and try again. That's the difference between what somebody who is just gambling or somebody who is leverage trading and somebody who is potentially using risk management in every execution that they actually make on the market. So nobody knows the difference between support and resistance or supply and demand. All right, so that's going to be your assignment, guys. Go ahead and find for the difference between support and resistance and supply and demand. There is a potential difference between those two things. And then you would relate it to smart money concept, and you see that it is literally the same thing. Everything is just names just coming together to just, confuse traders that are just coming up. So don't let anyone fool you. Oh, can I explain to you? Yeah, I already said it's an assignment. So go ahead and do the homework, okay? Just go ahead and do the homework yourself. Just see what the difference is between supply and demand and support and resistance. Now, you need to know that support and resistance is different, okay? Support and resistance is what is different, okay? Now, supply and demand is also different. So just do the homework and then you'll be able to see what difference is. Thank you very much, Niger Forest Goddess. I am so, so grateful, and it's a privilege having you on this call. And then I really can't wait for what the next coming week has for us, yeah? And then I don't know if you can hear me there.
Yeah, I can hear you. Thank you so much for having me here too.
All right then. All right then. So I don't know if you guys have any questions for her. Please just let her know, and then you can easily come in, guys. You can also follow her on her socials, actually, and yeah. So you can follow her on Instagram at this. So if you want just follow her on Instagram, you can just go ahead and do that. IG at Ninja Forest Goddess, then there's an underscore at there. So she's literally a gold trader, and then I'm telling you for a fact that she's literally doing crazy numbers for real, and it's crazy because you never can tell, and then you can literally learn something from our page as well. So without any further ado, thank you guys very much for joining this live stream. I hope we've been able to learn something tonight, and then I want you to know that practice will make you perfect. So sacrifice the time, do the work, and then you will see results. I can't overemphasize on this. Okay, sacrifice the time, and then you will see results. Thank you very much, Ninja Forest Goddess, once again. I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful. And then I hope everyone enjoyed the rest of the night. All right. Thank you very much.